to the channel. I'm J and we're locked in. We're in Cleveland with it because of our boy Meech and his on-the-go thinking about expanding the business out to his cousin James in Cleveland. Now we know he has some issues with Rail, the local drug dealer, but Rail also worked for someone, and there's issues that could arise from this with someone coming in and stepping on the toes, also telling Rail, you got to report to James now. So we're going to talk about this and how it all going to work out. Plus, I did a video, go back and watch it. Mickey could potentially bring everything down because he's working with his family member, Detective Brian. Now, before we jump into Meech in Cleveland and how it's going to play out, if you like breakdowns, predictions, theories like this, hit your subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Make sure you hit that like button and follow me on Instagram right here. Meech, this looks like a good play. But how can you make sure that this works when we seen how James was out there getting chumped by everybody? Let's see if Meech can really control Cleveland.
You blowing money fast on this side. I think I'm Big Meech.
I was one of the first people to say that K9 is a sort of a mentor to our boy Meech. This is different from Pat. Pat had them in the game and wasn't teaching them anything. Pat was Pat, and we seen what happened to him, junkie. Now, when I say K9 is a mentor, not that Meech is looking up to him, but he's learning the game. He's learning, I need to invest in some businesses. I need to watch my money. And everything we see K9 tell Meech, we actually see Meech play it out. He told him about the business, Dairy Queen. What did Meech do? He went to Cleveland and got a movie shop. You see what I'm saying? It's all connected. In episode 2, we got a lesson, a 101 on if they violate, we demonstrate. Now, the gentleman Cinderella came by busting, and we know what happened to him at the end of the episode. That all caught up to him. But Meech is seeing K9 really out here in the streets, handling his business and letting people know if you have an issue with me, it's going to be dealt. So again, we're going to see Meech apply this later on in the episode when it comes to Rail and popping up at his mama's house. We all know Meech is a smart man, and when Terry said, are you putting product in the car with Mama and Nikki? What did Meech say? No, I'm gonna go out there, get a lay of the land, set some things up, and then I'm gonna have B Mickey bring that out. Now, like I said, I did a video on B Mickey, and he could potentially bring everything down. A couple of stops. Meech got some work going to Cleveland. Get that knocked off because he already got 1.5 off the streets, but we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. So Meech is saying, no, let me go out there. Me and James had our differences when we were younger, but now when it comes to getting money, put all of our differences aside and let's get green. No knock on cousin James, but we need someone like James that doesn't really have much. That's the only way that he's going to be bought in on what Meech has. And when you come up shining with that BMF chain on, I want to get some money too, cuz how you get that? Listen, James, connect me to whoever you get some of that weed from, and I'ma make all of this happen. Now we get introduced to our local drug dealer, Rail. And I said in our live stream that Rail isn't the type of guy that's really in charge. And it comes to find out his mama has a nice job. He lives in a real nice house. His right-hand man is the guy that you should be in fear of. Now, Rail is thinking that Meech is a bluff, but if you see all the ice on his neck, you got to kind of take him for his word. And Meech is telling him, listen, if you want to make some money, your boss won't be your boss no more. You'll have more money than them. You'll have more dope than them, and you can become the boss. So this is enticing for someone that's just out on the corner making a little bit of money here and there, especially one that's living at home with their mama. And here is the issue with Rail. Now, Rail is the local drug dealer. He's the top of the lower people. You know what I mean? He still has a connect that got to give him the work. And that's what Meech is trying to move in and say, listen, let me be your connect. Let me bring you some work. Now, where Rail went wrong was he tried to cut Meech out of the deal that they already negotiated. Now, I was asking people how they felt about it. It was probably originally Meech, 60%, him 40%. He said that's not how we're going to do it. And he basically tries to punk Meech. But the last thing we hear Meech say is, I'm going to see you around. And you never want someone to say that, especially someone you know that is carrying them things on them. When I say them things, I'm talking about that gun. Meech held his word. He said he's going to see him. And what did he do? He went to Rail's mama's house, infiltrated the home, got a glass of water, pulled a gun on Rail and told him, this is my block now. Now, this is where all the issues could arise. We know that James, he doesn't have any muscle behind him. He just works at the movie store. Rail just getting punked like this, of course he wants to protect his mom, so he's going to cooperate with what Meech has. But in Cleveland, once people find out that little James that doesn't have any work, now all of a sudden has work and is working directly out of the movie store, this could be bad and Meech might have to come back out there. Now, could they get rid of Rail and Meech start working with his partner? That's what I want to see. Because this face that Rail has, there's no fear in it. So I'm thinking Meech is potentially going to have to get him out the way, because whoever Rail worked for is going to have an issue with them having to answer to James and not getting from Bleak. You see what I'm saying? So Rail, he has a lot on his plate. Is he going to risk it all to try to stay loyal to his original crew? Or is he going to go ahead and fold and do what Meech got to say? Now I'm thinking Meech, it would be better off for Meech to partner with his boy, because you see his boy was taking the samples. He actually knows a little bit more about the dope game. And again, K9, he's just happy that he got his money on time. He told Meech in the beginning of the episode, don't bring me a little bit. If I front you 20 bricks, bring back 20 bricks. So this Cleveland move, it is very good for Meech, because now he can move it outside the city and doesn't have to really worry about too much within his local neighborhood, even though they don't know Lamar is out. Right now, as long as it's out of the state, boom, my hands are pretty much clean, because I'll have B Mickey and them drive it out there. But as I said, K9 said, if they violate, we demonstrate. That happened with Rail. He said expand the business. That happened with James. You see what I'm saying? The mentor is K9. And also, we seen Cinderella didn't have the fairy tale ending at the end. But let me know what you think about Meech. Is this expansion in Cleveland going to cause some problems out there, or is James and Rail going to be able to work together to keep the flow of dope coming into Cleveland from Detroit, and BMF really starts to expand? Let me know what you think. If you like this kind of content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'm out.